Hello, good evening. This is not the regular time. It's like almost 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time. I normally scope like a 7 or 7:30, but today it's got a little late because I took um, like a video story, what do you call it? Like a story writing class because that was uh, held at the Columbia University at a B school. Um, there's no way to scope from there because today was a small room and everybody's very seriously pay attention about their storytelling. you know um, that was a really great class, and we brainstormed like everybody's business and started to like wording and what kind of noun we think about your business and what kind of verb is describing your business, then adjective. It's kind of like a gaming type of like a brainstorming. I thought if we create app for this, that would be interesting, but the writing should be, using by hand. Doesn't have to be, always writing by hand, but handwriting. But sometimes, if you using pen and paper and you get the different type of idea, but I normally using laptop to writing my video script. Um, I was thinking about a new app idea, but sometimes it's like living in a big city. This is New York is the biggest city in the world. I think we need to like get away somewhere and like without a computer, without a smartphone, that kind of feeling. So if you stuck or if you feel you're definitely stuck writing, sometimes stay away from electricity, like IT technology. Just grab the pen and paper, then write down your thoughts. So this reflective writing, that's today's topic, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks topic. I'm still stick with the reflective writing because I wanted to go over until myself it's get clear about the reflective writing and the growth mindset. So this is a video I shared 2 weeks ago. It's part of the workshop, like free workshop I was offering. The lesson 2 was reflective writing. So very interestingly, I forgot. I don't remember found how I find the growth mindset because I normally go to bed like certain time because I set my iPhone like a bedtime alert. So 10 minutes, I think 10 minutes before my bedtime it's gonna ring, then like remind me I need to go to bed. Sometimes it's gonna ring and when I was outside, but it's still helpful to having like a very consistent bedtime and the sleeping hour every day. Then I haven't woke up 5 a.m. these days, but my woke up time would be 5 a.m. That's the alarm set for. Now it's summertime. It's been how many weeks? Couple of weeks. Sometimes I woke up right before the alarm goes off, but the last 2 days I don't think I got up before the alarm clock's off. But anyway, so I spent kind of like a weird time frame to writing a video script for these lessons and also brainstorming, spending so much time for the brainstorming and writing down the script and the storyboard, that kind of stuff. Lesson 1 I spent for 40 hours to make the 13 minutes video. That was really struggle somehow, and I feel but it's kind of enjoyable, like doing something struggle because I know and I'm gonna deliver some very special and interesting message. I so I spent so much time that was fun, and I stay up not all night but until 3:30 a.m. That was kind of very unusual for me. It was first time since when, like 20s or 30s, I don't remember exactly, but I normally don't stay up until 3:30 or 4 a.m. in the morning. But anyway, that was interesting night. I spent a whole week to create the lesson number one. So after I came up the growth mindset, I wanted to explain how you can write a story. It's not difficult to teach in like a theory or steps and like a methodology of the writing, but it's not. As a student, it's not easy to understand and how you're gonna write. So I knew that I need to have some example. Then I think in the middle of the night, the story of the Cardinal Thunder came up in my mind. Probably, and one of my friend and who showed me 1 minute video about the Cardinal Thunder before, but I saw by the time around the time I was watching so many different type of peoples, was watching a lot of different stories, but I don't know why I still you know I haven't thought about the Cardinal Santos, but anyway, it came up his story. Then I wrote down his transcript from the video. Then happened to be this story. It's related to the reflective writing. So this video is available on my YouTube channel, like Snow Sugar Video. So if you go through, this is the kind of timeline for the Cardinal Sanders life story. It's kind of interesting to describing someone's life within 2 minutes or 3 minutes video. That's a lot of different way to describing someone's life story, but this one is like focusing on his cooking and career. You can say it's like a vocation or calling. So he was, he born in Kentucky, and his father was died when he was 5 years old. Then because he lost his father and his mother need to work like day and night because they, of course they need more money, not more money, and they need money to live. And then Colonel Sander became he was cooking at home instead of his mother for himself, of course, and also his siblings, because he was only 5 years old. He's the first son, so that means he has the brother and sister, like maybe 4 or 3, or maybe a little smaller. I don't think I can imagine I can cook when I was 5 years old, but he did. Then he lost for different type of job, and he married, but he divorced. His life was like up and down. Then he became a cook. Hello, Tristan. Pikachu-san. こんばんは。こんばんは. Then he retired at the age of 65. But it seems like this story, like 1 minute, 2 minute story, it's like between 40 to 65, like 15 years old, that they didn't describe. So I assumed he became a cook, or maybe different story, but they didn't describe it. This story is like focusing on something like bad things happen. So, こんばんは. Then when he get retired age of 65, probably they didn't describe this video I watched about his feeling, but I assumed he felt empty. Then he decided to commit suicide. The video didn't say why he committed suicide. But when he decided to commit suicide and he grabbed pen and paper, then sit down under the tree, then started to writing down his whole life story. I don't know how he write, but he decided, and then he started to think, maybe after he write his life story, his mind started to get organized. Then he started to think what he can do better when he, if he go back to like a 10 years old or 15 years old or 20 years old, he started to think that way, like reflection. That was the reflective writing for. Then he realized what he really good at was cooking. And I assumed he had his own recipe, which is KFC chicken recipe. I think using, what do you call the pressure cooker, I think, pressure cooker. But this video saying he went to 1,009 restaurants. But the good thing is that there's a 1,009 restaurant around Kentucky, right? Because if you live in suburb, like a really suburb or in the middle of the mountain, and maybe there's no restaurant around there. But he went to 1,009 restaurants, then everybody say no to him. But the person decided to commit a suicide after he wrote the reflective writing. He did the reflective writing. I think his mind was totally shifted from like a fixed mindset to the growth mindset. That's why he went to the over 1,000 restaurants, even though everybody say no to him. Don't you think? Because this is happening only 1 year. So that means he went to 20 and 30 restaurants every day. I don't think I can take it, if someone say no. Like whenever you go to the restaurant, you're gonna be exhausted, and maybe you can just think about, oh, maybe I should not do this because it's reaching 1,000. 1,000 is a big number. Even 100 is big numbers. But he didn't give up, so he went to 1,010th restaurant, and that's 1,010th restaurant say yes, then they decided to decided to open the KFC restaurant and using his chicken recipe. That's an amazing story, don't you think? That's right. That's the thing, right? If he gave up, so we didn't have a KFC, right? This is not something related to his reflective writing, but while I was preparing or putting together this lesson number 2, I started wonder why he's wearing white suits. Have you ever wondered? I really wanted to know, even though I was editing my video, that's take in the middle of the night, I need to get some sleep, but I was researching about why he's wearing white suits. Because all of a sudden, like, I feel like I need to find out. Otherwise, I can't sleep. You are thinking? No one, told me before. I didn't know. See, right? Yeah, I didn't. I have no idea. But I found out. You wanna know? Yes, I did. Yes, I found out. Because when he became a KFC founder, and because rapidly growing the restaurants. If you go to the Google, so maybe you can see lots of his like a cooking not a performance. What do you call it? Demonstration at the TV show, and he was invited for the TV show, and he had to show how to cook, how to serve the KFC chicken. So that means he used a lot of like a flour, right, back and forth. He used to wear the black suits. Do you know what happened? Like a dark suits, then using flowers. So you're gonna see stain of the flour all over the suits, right? But it's on TV show. He's gonna be embarrassed, right? That's the reason why he started to wearing white suits. He doesn't have to worry about the flour stain. He's a genius. That's that now is like a signature. White suits is very signature for his brand. Yeah, good job. Because whenever you cook, the flour stain is not gonna go away easily. Even though you use like water, it's not gonna come out easily. That's why apron is white, I think. That's another reason too, because the uniform need to be white because they need to bleach to clean. Sanitation wise, I think. Maybe his suit was bleached. I don't know. But that was a smart idea because he was on TV. The one I watched a couple of TV show, but he's already wearing white suits. I couldn't find some TV show he's in black suits or like a dark color suits. But he's been wearing, what do you call this tie? Like a bow tie? Not a bow tie. I don't know what do you call this. Even though I am a wardrobe stylist. He's been wearing this tie for a long time with the dark suits, but since he became a KFC founder and most of the time he has to demonstrate in how to cook on a TV show, he's wearing just change the suit's color. That's the reflective writing. So now it's teaching reflective writing in elementary school. I found out. Santa Christmas suits. That's right. Oh yeah, they use their Santa Christmas suits for Colonel Sanders. There's a website, but I forgot. While I was researching about the white suits, why he's wearing white suits, I found some website called the like 50 things you don't know anything about Colonel Sanders. There's a 50 like list. Then one of the topic was story about the statue of the Colonel Sanders in Japan and Osaka. I still remember, and when Japanese baseball team called Hanshin Tiger, the team haven't get the top. What do you call it? The won the MVP. I don't know what do you call this. The final baseball game, but they never win. But when they won the like a World Series or something like that, then one of the fans gets so excited and they took their Colonel Sanders from the KFC, then dumped it into the river. Then that was a huge news. And then after that, and they never win, I think. We had a kind of rumor, and Colonel Sanders get really mad. That's why they don't win anymore. I know, but I think they found the statue in the river they took out, but I'm not sure they didn't get damaged. I mean, he didn't get damaged. That was kind of like a big news though. That's a long time ago. Maybe there's no YouTube because too like a not too recent. Yeah, pretty cool. Because of they did it and the team never win after that. I don't know the word describing about the um I forgot. I don't know how you can describe. What's the word and who someone is like playing, not playing. I forgot. Anyway, that's the funny story about the Colonel Thunder statue in Japan. So reflective writing would be the journal writing too, because if you do the journal writing every day or every week or even every month, that might help because you can go over what you have been done a week or a day or month. As I said, I tend to use laptop or Google Documents to write a video script or story these days. But if I'm stuck about business plan or weekly plan or something, I stuck writing or stuck planning, or I feel messy in my brain or mind, I always use pen and paper to writing down what I'm think. It's like kind of blame mapping, no mind mapping, right? Those writing is really help to organize my mind. So do you use that kind of writing? So reflect is, oh, I forgot to put it the hiragana in here. 振り返る. It's like a look back, reflect. 反省 is more like reflection. It's not the verb, I think. Yeah, 反省 is like reflection. But Japanese word is interesting because I did this scope in Japanese 2 days ago. Writing for planning. Oh, it's like making a list, like a shopping list. Shopping list is helpful too because sometimes you don't remember everything because there's an app called, what do you call it? Got Milk. I think Got Milk. That's the list. There's a lot of great shopping app. So whenever you, right. Oh, okay, yeah. But it's because I always think about what's the good and app for. So I always into the technology. Some of the app is connected to your refrigerator, and my refrigerator, our refrigerator don't have the egg tray. So some of the egg tray has a sensor each section. So if all the egg tray is empty, it's gonna automatically add it to your shopping list. Is like an egg, and the milk is same thing. But if you put in the milk section the different things, it's not gonna make a list. So you have to place your milk in certain place. I always into the tech. I was thinking about making that kind of sensor wallet, but sometimes if you have a lot of money and you have to tracking all the expenses, but if you have a little money, sometimes you don't want to know what's inside. Technology is great, but sometimes you don't want to know so many information, right? And also, if you started to know a lot of the numbers or data, you have to be not you have to be you're going to be crazy sometimes because you know a lot of number because you use the Nike shoes has a little I don't know what you call the little things at the bottom and put on it, then run, and you're gonna see how many minutes you're gonna run every mile, and what's your what do you call it the heartbeat and blood pressure, those type of information you don't have to know every day. That is too much information, right? But too much information means sometimes different meaning. But definitely we are living in the so many information world. That's right. Especially when you live in Japan, it's all most of the place is so clean and very organized, and every store is you know open exactly what day business hour, and the closing exactly what day business hour. But over here is like not so much. So that means if you become a perfectionist, you go crazy. People, it's like a people, make a mistakes. Sometimes train doesn't come on time. That's okay, right? But in Japan, the bullet train is like running 1 minute late or 2 minutes late, and everybody's get upset. But here, 1 minute, 2 minutes, normally people don't care. But a TV show is always started at, exact time, I think, even New York. Probably if I live in Japan and I'm scoping like 7 p.m. like every day, I won't do that 9 p.m. scope. Oh, that's too late. Maybe I should not do this, right? Yes. But that's great though. If they're doing everything is perfect without stress, that's the ideal. But if they started to having a lot of stress and anxiety or depression, if they cause that kind of disease, they should not be perfectionists. Because I don't like to see the suicide commit like a suicide rate in Japan is very high. Um, that's sad though because their country itself is clean and very organized, but the people having so much stress. And Korea is same thing. Number one rate, the woman's suicide rate is Korea now. Those things we need to, I think about more carefully, before thinking about technology, I think. Let's not talk about something negative. So this is the kind of Sanders quote. I think because he went to over 1,000 restaurants, so exactly 1,010. restaurant. So this quote would be very, you know, what's the word? Meaningful. I think one has to remember that every failure can be a stepping stone to something better. If someone else would say and may not be very like meaningful, but this is because he's saying this quote is very, very nice, right? That something better means KFC. One has to remember that every failure can be a stepping stone to something better. So we have to thank Colonel Sander. I think this is not his real name. Hi, hi, Sam. He donated a lot of money to the charity and the church as well. So because he started KFC age of 65, and I think he ended his life 90s. Yes, that's right. You're also the big fan of KFC. I see the smile mark, so you must be. I think Japanese company Toshiba is the founder is also started his company 70, 75, I remember. What made what made me study KFC? Um, it's not studying about a KFC. It's like while I was learning about a growth mindset, then not a growth mindset at the before the growth mindset. When we start the story video business, I think first year, and we talked about and what kind of story video we have to, pursue. I think his image. I don't remember because I've been to. I think the only U.S. or around here is called KFC. In Japan, they don't say KFC. They're still saying like a Kentucky Fried Chicken. They don't say KFC and they don't list it as a KFC. They don't use the logo as KFC. They always say Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah, I see the logo form, but I don't think there's a logo in Japan, but I'm not sure. I think it's logo because the bucket. Japan has like a big bucket for the Christmas theme. Yeah, like what I was talking. Yeah, I was talked about and what we Snow Sugar video is what should we kind of pursuing different direction. Then we are researching a lot of like mini bio or story, and then one of my co-founders she suggested me to do kind of like a celebrity story. It's like hi Maika-san. What's the name of the YouTube channel? Draw My Line. Draw My Line is become very famous because they featuring about the famous people's story. But there's those type of videos already exist, so we can copy their style, and we have to find something else. And also, I wanted to focus on like a more like a real people. Doesn't don't matter the famous or not because we wanted to more like real people and people next to me or people next in neighbor or something like that. Spicy chicken in winter. Everything is spicy these days. So then I think she showed me a bunch of different type of videos. There's a 20 or 30s. Then we watched everything. I don't know why though. It's something, some reason while I was editing video, I came up the Colonel Sanders. It's like out of the blue. It's interesting, right? Then when I transcript for the 2 minutes video of his story, his life story, then it's all connected. It's like a chicken. Is that chicken leg or? Yeah, sometimes it's so interesting when you write something, and sometimes like I'm write something, then look back 2 weeks later or maybe 2 years later, when you read some writing, you don't see that's your writing. Why they're the two bread and burger? Can you imagine if you're gonna if you eat those four? Too many wheat, too much wheat, not too many. Too much wheat. It's a bun. Okay. Oh, it's like a biscuit. Oh, really? I haven't eaten fast food long time. Okay, I'll check their website. While I was scoping this, like passing, like last weekend, and I scoped about outside of the McDonald's, like there's a KFC chicken around here. I don't know. There's a Kennedy chicken that's kind of copied one. Corn and rice. That's right. Because every fast food need to have a rice, right? Japan has the most delicious burger. That's they call the most, but if I say Moss burger, it sounds like Moss, like MOSS, or MOTH. Either way, it sounds gross, right? But a Japanese most burger, most delicious burger, they say MOS, like a mountain ocean sand. The burger is very nice, and they, because they're Japanese brand, and they serve rice burger. New York has a ramen burger. Have you ever seen or have you ever heard of that? Ramen burger. That wasn't so good though. I tried it, but ramen should be in a soup and bowl, not the burger. No, don't worry. It's end. It's like a today's quote means end of the periscope. Thank you for a lot of hearts. Good timing for you to interrupt. Yes, it is. I saw one of the scoper, but I don't know him very much. But he was showing the picture, and every like a scoper get together and having dinner. That was nice. Did you see the picture? They get together in, I assume in Tokyo, I think. Yeah, whenever we do the food talk and everybody gets hungry, then after finish the scope, maybe eat again. But don't eat too much. It's almost bedtime. We have to, stay leave your stomach empty before go to bed, right? At least 3 hours prior, I think. Sushi. Sushi should be okay, but not salmon sushi. Salmon has a lot of cholesterol and fat. I never seen the salmon sushi before came to New York. Right, rice and seaweed should be okay. Of course, California roll not exist in Japan. Most of the people don't know. Some of the Americans go to Japan and said, "Oh, there's no California roll," because name of the California roll is that means American sushi, not Japanese sushi. Hello, Paul-san. Miso soup. That's right. Did I scare him off? Okay, it's 9:30 here. I think I should finish. Thank you so much for coming. Um, no, I don't think so. Doesn't sound like taste, matching because miso flavor may not match to the, especially the KFC chicken is like a crispy, right? Crispy chicken has a little spice on it. Yeah, that's not much, I think. Like a soda or beer. Just have the soup. Fugan chicken. Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much. It's interesting story, right? And never give up. Your failure, your mistake is all the stepping stone for something better. Be positive. Thank you. Good night.